All right. All right, so I'm going to record this so that everyone can see it. Good afternoon. So what we're going to try and implement, Jen, Alex, and I have kind of gone over a process just to improve communication with the case managers and with staff and with clients. Just an effort to support them and hold them a little more accountable, and an effort to make it easier for us to kind of understand what's going on. So what's going to happen is every staff is going to be assigned a client, someone that hopefully kind of works a similar schedule. I'm going to probably use Todd as an example because you're sitting right here and it's helpful. And Carl was someone you're going to work with. Is that right?
Carl,
or was it?
and Margie and Steve and Colleen.
Okay. All right. There we go. So I'm going to just use Carl and Todd as our main example at the moment. So, so if Todd is assigned to Carl, there's going to be weekly expectations. And I have this little tracking form that we've created. I'll throw off all the lighting, but you can kind of see that it'll reside in this binder that's in here, and I'll put a label in it. Each of these, it has a general, list of what to do. Each tab has a client. So if Todd is working with Carl, he'll flip through here. And someone in here, they'll find Carl and Margaret. There are two names. You'll forgive me. Sometimes I have this organized right off the bat. There we are. Carl and Margaret. So right here is Carl and Margaret's sheet, okay? That will reside right over on this table next to the big bureau thing, okay? So we can all get to it. So the basic expectations, as I've written them right down here, have a weekly face-to-face conversation with that client. So at a minimum, once a week, Todd is going to find Carl, say, hey, how you doing, bud? Things going okay? Anything you're struggling with, right? Just kind of a face-to-face check-in. Either during that check-in or at another time, I'd say do it at the check-in, right? One contact, it makes it easier for everyone. We're going to ask that you check the room to make sure the waterproof casing is on the mattress. We had some clients move out recently and they did not have the casings on the mattresses, and those mattresses were destroyed and unusable, right? So a little bit as a means of self-preservation, we're going to make sure that mattress is on there. And that question is going to be a tool for you to just really quickly check the bedroom. We're not looking to nitpick. We're looking for safety or cleanliness issues. So if you see a candle, if you see a lighter, if you see incense, that would be something that if their client is right there, I would like you to do this check with the client there if possible. Have a conversation about it, have it go away, put it in my office, but things with flame are not allowed, right? Do a quick look around the room, see if there's any old food, right? Those are my main two issues, fire and old food, right? Let's make sure those are eliminated, right? You'll also collect the family's menu for the week, right? Just if they don't need it, they don't need it. So be it. There's a spot right on the form to check off. They declined. They didn't want to provide a menu, right? If we change food up along the way, we'll readjust how that goes. But for the moment, we still are asking for the menu. Just try and collect that on a weekly basis. Inquire about any rides they may have coming up, right? The rides thing has been really a struggle. So Todd maybe go up to Carl and say, hey, I know your car's in the shop. You need us to go somewhere? There's a form right on here where you can write in those rides. Then on Sundays when Alex comes in, she can quickly flip through this book and find out what we need to schedule for the week that's coming up, right? It allows us to be able to go back to a client and say, look, Todd talked to you last week. What do you mean you need a ride today? Is it an emergent, right? So it allows us for a little bit of accountability and a little bit of what we're trying to do is we're trying to teach people to think ahead, right? As I say all the time, tomorrow's coming, right? So they're all in the moment and we want to get them to think about tomorrow a little bit, okay? Now, the most important part is in the notes section, you can pass any concerns back to the case managers. And in that notes section, when you take a look, I'm happy to sit down with you and go over it. The case managers, when they meet with their client, so are you Carl's or is Alex Carl's?
That's me.
So Jen sits down, there's a spot right up there where it says, when is Carl's meeting? When is Carl's case manager meeting? So this helps us hold ourselves accountable as well, right? I know I've seen it on the calendars.
They're always moving around.
Well, pick a time that's general, because we want to try and foster consistency, right? So,
Saturday.
all right, 11-ish?
Yeah.
All right. So Saturdays, I wrote in Saturdays at 11. That's when Jen meets with her case manager. When Jen meets with them, she's gonna mark off that they attended their meeting. And she's gonna put any things in there that she may need help with, right? So perhaps Carl is trying to get recertified for SNAP, and Jen has asked that he go get his, proof of income. She'll write a simple note looking for proof of income. When Todd does his face-to-face check-in with Carl, he'll have looked at this sheet and he'll be able to go, hey, Carl, did you get that info from Jen? Does that make sense? So if you're working with Sylvanus and Diamond, I think the rides thing is very important, right? You're going to meet with them and say, hey, Sylvanus, what do you need for rides next week? Does that make sense? And I think by doing this, you guys aren't responsible for the whole community. You're just responsible for your couple of people, right? So as we go through this, there's one of these boxes for each week. So every 4 weeks, take a new sheet out of the front, put it in the binder. And after a couple of weeks, after a couple of months, we're going to be able to look back through there and say, all right, this client has not met with case management. They're not following through. We need to up that. And maybe they need to meet with the case managers and myself. And we need to have a conversation, right? About, are they doing the things that they need to do? Okay. On the flip side, we can look at it and say, wow, you guys have been fantastic. Maybe we should make an exit, right? So I think this is just going to be a means to communicate back and forth and give a little guidance and direction in terms of where you're going. And that face-to-face meeting is important. Some people don't want to talk, don't push them, but eye-to-eye, face-to-face, right? Have a conversation. So you guys who are here with me, Dee Dee and Todd in particular, do you guys have any questions about that?
Nope.
Okay. And
It's self-explanatory.
well, that's fantastic. So and I don't always achieve that, so that's a good thing. One of the things I would like Joetta to be doing, Joetta is obviously the lead staff. Joetta is the point of contact for any concerns on the campus about routines or things you can or cannot do. Before you ask me, you ask Joetta. Hey, should that person be smoking that close to the building? That's a Joetta question, right? If Joetta is not able to address that, then Joetta can bring it up to myself and Alex, and we can have a more direct conversation. But if I need a staff member to do something, I'm going to hand that back to Joetta and ask Joetta to go. Like, for example, I'm looking at this and Todd hasn't filled out his sheets for 2 weeks. That's going to be a conversation with Joetta. Hey, Joetta, can you catch Todd, please, and have a conversation, see what's going on, see why that's not happening. Does that make sense? So that's where we're going to rely on Joetta to check on this kind of stuff. But I think over time, it'll allow us to have a really nice paper documentation of what we're trying to achieve with the client and what that client is trying to achieve. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it encourages more follow through for the clients too.
That's the purpose. That's the purpose, is kindly be persistent.
Yeah.
If they know, oh God, I said I would make this phone call and Todd's going to come and ask me about that, right? I'll just get out of the way. And as we talk about this, right? For example, if Sylvanus has to make a phone call, when you talk to him, you say, hey, have you made that phone call? He may say, yeah, I'm going to do it. That's a really good time to say, hey, I'm right here right now. You want to get that done so I can go back and tell people the awesome work you did? We're not going to push him, right? If he chooses not to, so be it. But a lot of times with that act of encouragement, that's really all it takes. We kind of lead them to where they're going and not push them, but kind of pull them along after us.
Yeah.
So, all right. I think I'm at the risk of over talking. Any other thoughts or comments on that? Okay. I have written in the start date of 9/15. That's the starting Sunday for when I want this to start. It says week completed, 9/15. Okay. Next week, you're going to write in probably 9/22 if I did my math right.
Yes.
And just kind of start keeping track of this. It says mattress covers. If they're on, just circle yes. If you need to replace it, please mark the date of the replacement. That lets Alex know that we may need to order some more. That way we can keep track of inventory, okay? So I just kind of wanted to go over that detail. Last chance, any questions?
Good.
All right.
Now, I mean, if an emergency does come up and they need a ride or,
Emergencies are emergencies. Those happen in life.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the things that we are aware of, right?
Yeah.
I know I need to get to court next Tuesday. Monday or Tuesday are not the times to talk about it. And just so you guys are aware, if a client comes back and says, hey, Aaron, I need a ride next week, my answer is going to be, we can probably do that. You need to talk to your primary staff and write that in, okay? Sometimes when the clients have a conversation with me, they tend to think, well, it's over and done. Aaron said it, it's fine. I very clearly stated to all the clients, when you chat with me about stuff like that, you're just having a conversation. I'm not authorizing nothing. That's up to the people who run that process. If I'm saying yes and I'm not even looking at the transport schedule, I'm going to cause conflict, right? If a client says, oh, I told Aaron about it, that's not acceptable in terms of trying to schedule something, right? So when a client says, well, Aaron said I could do that, you are perfectly authorized any time of day. Call me. Aaron, did you say you could do that? No, I really didn't. Or on a rare occasion, maybe I did. But let the client know that if they're going to use that, it's not going to be a get out of jail free card. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We're going to call Aaron up and no, Aaron said you need to move more than 25 feet away from the doorway when you're smoking. You don't get special permission. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So hopefully this is a vehicle just to kind of improve on that stuff. So my name is not get out of jail free.
Yeah.
I did not tell them they can break the rules. Not at all. Okay. All right. So barring any other comments from anyone else, I'm gonna end this recording and I'm gonna ask all the staff to read it and hit a thumbs up. I'll send an email out that says, did you review that? Please hit the thumbs up. I think everybody, perhaps Jen, hit the thumbs up button on that email. I'll show you. I think it was just you might. It's not a big deal, but I went back to Todd and Dee Dee, and so I think we're all on the same page. The thumbs up button on an email, I would really like to see anytime you read one that goes out to the full staff email, just hit that thumbs up so that we're aware you're reading the communications that go out. So, all right, everyone have a nice day. Thank you all. I appreciate it.